Hello. Today I'll be talking about the best mods, at least in my opinion, to make Oblivion a lot more interesting, a lot more fun, and put so many more hours into Oblivion than Oblivion originally um, uh, had. Um, so thing about Oblivion is that, like any Bethesda game, and you can't put too many mods in. You can put a lot of little mods in, but when it comes to the big ones, I find that at least on my laptop, I can put no more than 3 big mods. So one overhaul of some type, better cities and unique landscapes, and I can't put any more than that. Regardless of how much I stabilize it, it will only run for a maximum of half an hour and then crash. I've tried many different things to get around this, like DXVK or D9VK as it's called, but I've had nothing but problems with that. It worked for some people, but yeah. So anyway, the mods. So obviously Better Cities and Unique Landscapes is a must for me. They are amazing. Oh my goodness, Better Cities is so much, better than it used to be. It's also a lot more stable than it used to be. And it runs scripts, because that was the biggest thing about Better Cities back in the day. People would say, oh, well, Better Cities adds a ton of scripts, which it does, but the new one does away with a lot of scripts that weren't necessary to run all the time. And a lot of the scripts now are dormant until a certain quest from Better Cities is playing, or some sort of action is performed by one of the NPCs from Better Cities. Also, Better Cities has link support, and link, all uppercase, is a mod made by none other than the talented and almighty Masker, who made Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. And link, what that does is if a mod has compatibility with it, which is quite easy to do for a modder, link will allow you to edit the mod in game. So I found that it's a very must-have mod. It's not really a mod. I'd say it's some sort of utility, and it goes into the data folder. It is installed just like any other mod. So it's technically a mod. But anyway, you will no longer need to really set the ini file before you play, except for Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. That doesn't have link support yet. Masker has been tirelessly working on the latest version of Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. Not sure when that will ever be released, though. The last version was released in 2019. Masker's Oblivion Overhaul is the best overhaul to use for Oblivion, full stop. Anyone who says otherwise, like myself, who loves Oscuros more, is really only in it for the nostalgia. And I'm a big nostalgia sinner. I really am. I'm very naughty. I only like mods that give me that pleasure, which is fair enough. But anyway, I will not be biased and say Oscuros is the best one, because that's debatable. Oscuros is good though. So, Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. The experiences I always had with it wasn't very good, but I am not very good at finding out in the plethora of options in the ini file of Masker's Oblivion Overhaul of how to stabilize Masker's Oblivion Overhaul, because 9 times out of 10 you might want to use another overhaul with it, because it's very compatible with other overhauls. but you'll find that it crashes often. And that's because the main reason for that is that Oblivion cannot handle too many extra spawns in the wilderness. So every time you go out a city and you've got Masters of Oblivion Overhaul with all the extra spawns, you might find that in half an hour it crashes. Even without better cities and unique landscapes, it still crashes. Yeah. There's only one option in the latest, as of this video, the latest Masters of Oblivion Overhaul, which has reduced spawns, and you want to set that to 1. There's also another few little things like creature resize set to 0, and also there's something to do with the amount of NPCs that can enter combat. The vanilla was 10, but Masters of Oblivion Overhaul sets it to 20. So 20 actors can engage in combat at once, which is, in my opinion, would be a bit taxing on stability. At least for my laptop it is. My laptop is more than capable, and I asked an expert, well, in my opinion, an expert about my laptop a while ago, and I showed him the specs, and he said my laptop is more than capable of running Skyrim Special Edition with a lot of mods. So that's good. So my laptop, yeah, it's a laptop at the end of the day. But anyway, that's another conversation or not a conversation, but yeah, I'll talk about that another time. So the mods I recommend on getting for stability and to maximize Oblivion to the state you will want. Better cities, unique landscapes, Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul, only because it's stable, not because it's the best one. I've had nothing but problems with Masters Oblivion Overhaul, unfortunately, but other people haven't. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So, yeah. Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul, I like to, instead of using the amazing Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul Extended, which adds a ton of extra spawns, so don't use that if you want to not crash. There is another modder who's working on removing the extra spawns from both Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul and OOO Extended, but it's still in progress. And as of this time, he's still working on that. So, you will want, instead of using Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul Extended, you will want Creature Diversity, which is an amazing, creature mod. And it adds, as you guessed it, diversity. It adds high elf zombies, orc zombies, dark elf zombies, Argonian zombies, you name it. It adds it all. It adds female liches, which are pretty cool. It adds just stuff like that. It adds an amazing, awesome giant, a couple of different colored giant spiders. Yes, giant spiders, and they look amazing. They move really cool. They are completely new meshes. They are completely new animations. They don't have any of the animations of the Spider Daedra, as you probably might have already guessed. They don't. They are completely new creatures. As well as BT more enemies to use with creature diversity. You will want to use that as well. And you're probably wondering, but Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul makes creatures static. So when you add mods like creature diversity and BT more enemies, they rely on the vanilla level lists. Well, then what you will want to install before any of these mods is the more bash tags for mods mod, which is a massive, absolutely massive list of TXT format folders that are put into the data folder of Oblivion. And when you launch Rybash will detect all these bash tags, and when you rebuild the bash patch, it will take these bash tags, and it will merge and solve a ton of conflicts between mods that you previously couldn't use together. Yeah. When it comes to landscape mods, though, mods that don't have patches for unique landscapes, I don't know if that will work. I've never tested that. I've been too scared to do that. So do that at your own risk. If you want to add a mod that changes landscape or add something to the landscape that happens to conflict with unique landscapes and there's no patch available, it might be compatible with the bash tags, but I can't promise anything. I heard that bash tags do indeed solve landscape issues, but there would be still some annoying things like land tears. But don't worry, there's another mod that also fixes that, and it's actually a software, it's not a mod, and it's called Land Magic. Oh yes, Land Magic is an amazing tool that solves a lot of land tears. And you might be thinking, oh, but if I have all the patches, I don't need to worry about that. But you do, because if let's just talk about Better Cities and Unique Landscapes, for instance. If you installed Better Cities first, which you really should do, Better Cities installed first, and you want to see the aqueduct of the Imperial City that goes from the Imperial City to that waterfall with the rocks and that cave. I can't remember what the cave's called, so I'm sorry, but you'll easily see it. This massive aqueduct. Then there will be a conflict between the Imperial Isle and the aqueduct and the once called aristocratic district. It's now called the diplomatic district, and it's completely different. But anyway, that will all conflict with the Imperial Isle unique landscapes. So you will also want the patch. Oh, this is a bit of an interesting patch. It's called OPS or something like that. Compatibility Imperial Isle patches, and it will be in the recommendation. It will be in the it will be in the requirements list of unique landscapes. You'll see it. It will be called OPS or something OPS Imperial Isle patches, and you'll want to click on that and download that patch. You will install OPS patches after you install unique landscapes. So you have installed Better Cities Update, Unique Landscapes Compilation, Unique Landscapes Compatibility Patches, and then OPS. And all that is necessary. OPS is only necessary if you want to see the aqueduct, which is a lot more immersive and makes more sense. That it has like fountains everywhere in this Imperial City, because Better Cities Imperial City, it adds a lot of fountains and lots of nice things to look at when it comes to fountains, and it's lovely. And you'll also want it because the diplomatic district will not actually have a district. It instead, you know how the the Imperial Prison has a section outside the main city. Well, the diplomatic district is supposed to be one of those, and if you don't want to see it out, then it'll be strange. You'll basically be inside the Imperial City, and you'll be in the Elephant Gardens district, and you'll go to the diplomatic district, and you'll appear in there. But if you go outside, it's not there, which is very, very silly. You don't want that. So OPS is very necessary. Everything else, and it is safe to have everything when it comes to Better Cities. You click on everything, have all the Better Cities, the complete version, which is in the optional installer. You will no longer need to use the wizard. The wizard, in fact, is not there anymore when it comes to Rybash. You will just need to click on install. For certain mods that are not recognized by Rybash but are in sub packages, it's very simple. You just click on you'll click on the mod, and you'll see in the bottom right corner a bunch of sub packages. It will show you that what's inside the archive, which is 7-zip or WinRAR, and it will show you all the sub packages, and you'll want to click on what sub packages to install, and then tell Rybash to just simply install them, and it will all install the sub packages into the data folder, no problem. But you will also need to know what you're doing. Some mods, I can't imagine too many extensive and detailed mods like what's it called, France Goes as Oblivion Overhaul and stuff like that. They are all recognized by Rybash. I've never come across a really difficult mod that you don't really know how to install and it isn't recognized by Rybash. Usually Rybash recognizes mods these days. The only thing I have found with Rybash not recognizing mods is the seamless female bodies. So you might be wondering, what's seamless? Seamless is a relatively new, the best overhaul for both heads and faces and bodies, which is very, very necessary. Otherwise, you can just look at potato faces all day. If you want that, fine. If you like that, fine. But for me and a lot of others, Oblivion character overhaul seamless is very necessary. But installing it can be a little bit confusing. However, I can also help those who just ask me in the comments section in what order should I install these seamless bodies and the seamless character overhaul. I can easily tell you in the comments how to install seamless, and it's quite simple, very simple. What else? There's seamless and any other mods. If you I think I've covered a lot of the mods that I at least use. That I'm not using Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. I'm not using that. I'm only using Ascuros with creature diversity and BT more enemies and no stability issues whatsoever. So yeah. But for those who like, I'm covering this also for people who like Masker's Oblivion Overhaul. And if you like Masker's, well, that's completely understandable. It's just that I can't guarantee you that it won't crash, because I know that Masker's has problems when it comes to stability unless you turn off some things that were added into Maskers since a long time ago. Maskers has become an extremely big overhaul. It's the biggest overhaul to date. At the time of my video, it is the single most biggest overhaul for Oblivion, and it's the most fun one to use. But again, unfortunately, for me, it's caused massive stability issues. So yeah, I think that's everything I need to talk about. I might have forgotten a few things. If I have, just ask me in the comments. The comments, it will be very helpful for you and for me, because I'll know exactly what you need help with. And I know I've been modding Oblivion for nearly 3 years, and I've got some experience, and it's taken me this long to actually be able to mod Oblivion this much and still have no crashes. And yeah, so excellent. So hit me a comment, and yeah, I'll hopefully you'll have a really awesome Oblivion experience. Bye.